Welcome back. This is Signature Morning. We're on the last lap of this broadcast, and we wouldn't end it by, of course, not talking to you about finance. Finance is very important in every human's endeavor. Very important. We have with us Mr. Ohemohai, who is in Abuja. Mr. Ohemohai, are you there? Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
I
me?
can. Yes, I can hear you,
Okay.
Mr. Hemohai. Thank you so much for the reporting. Quite interesting. I'm very particularly concerned about the China driverless cars that have just been produced. I mean, how long would it take to get into Africa and specifically Nigeria? And how much jobs do you think that we can lose if we have driverless vehicles?
Well, talking about how long the driverless cars will come into Africa, I would say that it's going to take a while to come into Nigeria, but I think that they have started something like that in South Africa. But because you see, before driverless cars, there were electric cars, and electric cars haven't even started fully in Nigeria. Just have pockets of electric cars. So driverless cars are still a far way, far way for Nigeria. And really, I think that that's where we are in terms of the future when it comes to car technology. Remember that Nigeria, somebody said, I don't know whether to believe this or not, but somebody says that Nigeria is always 200 years behind technology that comes from Europe. But we are not 200 years when it comes to recapitalization, because that's what we're going to be looking at actually going into the week. A lot of banks, I'm sure you know that a lot of banks are already recapitalizing, trying to shore up their capital because of the new CBN rules that all banks should recapitalize. So now you ask yourself, what is the value, or will the banks succeed in getting recapitalization considering the Nigerian economy? They are hoping to raise about $3 billion. $3 billion from this Nigerian economy. It's a tall order. Well, that's why probably they are going to be, a lot of them are in the market right now. I know some shares are closing today. Fidelity Bank and GT Bank are closing today. FCMB started today. So we have the banks coming in with their shares, I mean, their shares to be sold. And they're asking that people come over to buy their shares. And we have many other banks that are going to come up. Remember that banks have been classified into international, national, regional, and then state banks. So you have this kind, there are different classification of banks. And so you know which one, if you're going to invest, you know which one to invest. Another thing to look out for this week is the fact that the May inflation rates will be released on Thursday. Hopefully on Thursday, the May inflation rates will be released, and we're expecting the National Bureau of Statistics to come out with some figures. And those figures are very much expected because you know that food inflation seems to have dropped a bit. Well, people say that if you go to the market now, tomatoes seems to have dropped in terms of price. Some people say yam is now a bit more affordable. So we are hoping that the rates that will come up in probably a few days' time will be lower than what was given in April. That was the April inflation, which was released. I'm talking about rather the June inflation, which was released in July. So we're expecting July inflation to be released in August. Remember that July inflation, food inflation for July was about 40%. And that's the highest it has been in close to 30 years. So we're hoping that these are figures that we believe would come down in the days ahead. But we'll be giving you business stories every day, starting from today, on the Signature Morning Show. We'll be giving you business stories and financial news on how to spend and invest your money.
Interesting. I really don't, I'm not expecting the inflation rate to be so spectacular. I'm not expecting it because, I mean, as of last week, I personally went to the market to check the prices of food. They were double what I actually paid for 2 months ago. So if it's anything less than 40%, I am going to be shocked. And I probably have to ask what markets did they do the surveys at. So I'm not optimistic about it. I'm not looking forward to it. But again, what
I know you will be as shocked as the politician who came on a national TV show and claimed that the NBS were falsifying those figures. I mean, it's very odd for politicians to say that, or any politician to say that.
Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. We really do appreciate it, because I was about to throw in, but maybe tomorrow, since we're going to be having you more often, we will have our financial status updated, regularly on this show, courtesy of what you're giving us.
Thank you very much.
Okay.